everyone receives is a reflection of us.
You know, I want to talk about gratitude, being grateful for the things that we've had. I want to highlight an example of my own life about the way I perceived a specific event in my life. I've always looked at a situation where I've had feline animals. And I had one grey cat, beautiful cat. We called her Twinkie. And I had her for a long time, but she got ill and struggled and finally got put down. So I got another cat, another grey and silver white cat with white paws. And this cat I had for a set period of time, but then when I worked overseas, it was given away. You see, we also had another cat. My cat was given to my brother. My cat lasted a long time, never went anywhere. You see, the two cats that I had, both silver ones, were taken away from me. Now, for years, I always look at it. Why was the cats that I got always taken away? I played victim mentality in this situation. You see, lately I've been watching something and it just arose today about gratitude for the event. And it's not about overcoming something or some hidden agenda, but it triggered in me that specific event, it held frustration or anger towards my parents, but unbeknownst to me. Not purposefully, not meaningful. It's just something that was there, that was clasping to this idea that it was their fault somehow. Not saying that it was just, that was the energy. Another thing, another layer to shed. You see, so I thought about it because as this topic came into the fruition of my life and I'm watching about it, my mind's eye took me to this event. A location in prior existence for I was not grateful for the times I had spent with my animal friends. I failed to see the years spent with them that brought me joy and comfort. But instead I chose, if you will, to focus on the pain of losing them. Or the victim mentality, why don't I get a cat that lasts longer? And it's something simple of a topic, but the most meaningful of ideas and releases. I am forever grateful for those animals that stood by my side when they needed to. I think ultimately I may have taken it out on the other cat a little bit too much, but I loved it all nonetheless. And I was thinking about how I was grateful for being in their existence, for I never asked them if they were in pain or what they were feeling. I took it for granted. I didn't know back then. This was early 90s. But it's interesting that it can harbor within our energy areas of our life that have been brought with us that we don't know. They're hidden. It's an interesting journey, the way that one's life leads towards areas that we haven't healed or that we change our perspective on. This is just another one of mine, but it's fascinating when you think about it. Even when we think we are really good at what we do, or we're on the path, there's always those things that pop up to be healed. Is it divine timing, perhaps? Is it the right opportunity or opportunistic moments? Is it a sign that you're about to receive the abundance and go to the places of where you need to? Absolutely. And just another one of those things that are coming down. For you see, in a previous one I talked about very soon for me and the abundance. And when I start placing these things, I can see why. I can see why the delays are necessary if we talk tarot. That it's coming. But we're having to remove and address the issues that are blocking. Not for fear or making everyone happier. No, but internally for me, it's like leaving a relationship but not on good terms. Or leaving a business not on good terms. There is always that energy of anxiety or doubt or fear or chaos that comes with you. You want to end something on a positive and go on your new journey feeling guided and loved. These are valuable assets. These are the release of masculinity for a male. It's the same for a female. It's adopting not new principles or perceptions or viewpoints, but adopting the acceptance that we've seen it the wrong way. And I see, a psychic once told me that we can always misinterpret the information given to us. And if you do misinterpret spiritual guidance or misinformation or any of the stuff that comes through that we don't get right, it changes the outcome significantly. So on the reverse, if we are being guided by ego or social trends to obviously look at a victim mentality point of view, and we start being grateful for the times that we have spent, we place less sorrow or hatred when they disappear, but grateful. It's the same thing like mourning the loss of a loved one or a friend or an animal, and you grieve. But yet in other countries they celebrate. It's the same societal trends. How did this information come about? Well, wisdom and learning. Understanding the powers that we harness as human beings. We can listen to others, gain guidance and wisdom from books or teachings or internet locations. Everyone's journey is different. I once said to a friend of mine just today, whenever you receive guidance or wisdom from someone, this is not to live by, for then you are not in control of your actions, but more guidance and teachings for you to make the appropriate decisions. You don't see a spiritual guru or a guide or a leader to follow their instructions. That is domination in governance. That's where we are now. But you get them to get guidance, so you go within, so you can make the decisions on who you are. And that's interesting because it leads me to a topic I wrote down yesterday about how are all people that we meet or things in life, are they all like NPC characters? And we're players in a game that they exist in real life, but are they just there for us to grow? Are the people we meet actual people we meet on our journey, never to be met again? Or are they the players in the game like us? Are they just clones or programmable beings there to offer us guidance back to who we are, back to source and connection, back to upliftment and fun? These are interesting questions as to why. What is the possibility of people in our life guiding us along the way? But are there also people there? And if so, how many? It's always interesting about timings of things, and I find it fascinating, even today, after talking to my friend about a relationship, helping her make choices, seeing things from a new perspective. It was rather interesting because talking about how do you respond to questions, and if you can't read between the lines to see if someone is looking for a specific response, an action happens. The universe provides an action for one to see at that very moment, to highlight to you inwardly what it is that you're lacking. It works so fast if we're willing to see. And then I ask myself, well, is this the reality for me, for knowledge for me to witness what occurs so I can teach others? Or it is a way of me guiding her in her main character plot? I mean, we don't all have to adapt areas of the hippie-like qualities and spiritual natures just to be a spiritual guru or a healer or any sort of medium on that level. No, but we adapt all principles of life all into the present moment. So I gain wisdom and knowledge from that very situation and hope that I can inspire them to make the decision, whether they're programmable beings or part of reality. That is what I do. So I continue to grow as well. I asked my mom today, rather interesting, about my history with, as a kid, and imaginary friends, and how she can't remember any of it. Specific things, yeah, but not the ones that I remember. Seems to have vanished from her knowledge. It's one of those things that I think I was watching today in relation to that, about how we train our children and how we should encourage the adaptability of their skills and growing and understanding, and how sometimes other people's energies can shut it down, or other people's hurtful feelings in society can shut it down. It almost made me cry. Not because of lack or anything like that, but I think my inner child was wounded because that's what he was calling for. Wanting to have that support, that push, that drive, that love behind it from your parents. I knew I wasn't going to get it, but I sort of needed to hear it from my parents, just for confirmation. I don't hate or blame, no, it's who they are, it's what they did. When you grew up, that's what society told you. This is what we had to fight through. It's only of recent times where more and more people are becoming aware of the manipulation, aware of their spiritual side, so they are teaching their children, following and supporting them. My parents did what they did. They did their best. I love them for it. I know their stance, but I don't judge them or hate them. But it's confirmation to me that I know what I seek from an inner child is not from my family, but for me. So I move forward in the level. I level up, if you will. Another area of my life I've highlighted to heal a past of my trauma. Today has been a very profitable day for healing. Which is fascinating because it leads me to another message I received later tonight about how sad truths of governments are causing harm to people, telling people how to live their life and live more city urban lives, and how sad it is that they're trying to remove us from nature. And I responded, and a friend responded back, how a specific song made her think of me and these podcasts more from the healer with a higher pitch shifter. But the message was all about love and loving yourself for being different. I think "Are You Weird" is one of the slogans or mottos written in the video clip called "Beautiful." And there's so much there about, if you look at the message and the meaning, how we all deserve the beautiful, positive things that are coming for us, and that you are loved. And it's a powerful message, a calming message to know you're on your journey, and have a laugh along the way, because the message I had with her was quite interesting. I said, "Are you weird?" but failed to put a comma. And I think the communication reached this weird sort of talk where I can't remember if we were having one or three. She thought I called her weird. And I said, weird is good. For you see, weird is good. What is normal? Being different is called being an outcast or shunned upon. So normal is society, but being weird is good. Well, everything within the limits. For you see, the normal society will try and tell you that if you're weird or different, you will go down this path. And they have laid and presented opportunities about how weird can turn into the sadistic or the non-normal. Because the normal society means have controlled the end narrative by placing a response to that very meaning, so that you stay in your lane, you stay in your control, keeping you tied down under the thumb of society. There's no love in that. There is control. Everything comes in balance and harmony. When people realize that everyone's intention is not to harm or hurt or be weird, but an energy that is being frequently bombarded upon us. I've talked about this before, about how thoughts we have may not be our own, but we are being bombarded with frequencies from all areas and towers and satellites and mobiles to control and dictate how we respond and what we think and the reactions we have to positivity. Ways of stopping us in our growth. Ways of blocking our growth. But you see, if you look at it to identify that that is exactly what it is, you can overcome it. So then do you look at it and say, well, that's another lesson in protection, defense, areas of our life that we need to know who we are. Does it mean it doesn't exist? No. It means it's there. But it means we can supersede it. Almost like the alpha male in a pack scenario. Mic drop. I'll leave you to make that connection. So you see, today's been quite a profitable day. I look forward to what comes next. And with that, peace and love. Take care.